October 7th, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2002 chart using NinjaTrader 8. There's no economic data today that came out to really move the market. Overall, the market looked like it was a pre-market push-up, sell-off on what I think was this yellow down channel. Then it fell into this gradual transparent channel, but I didn't really trust it too much. But there were a lot of little tiny channels. Then it just went sideways for the rest of the day. So half of the day is where most of the price action occurred. And then the rest of the day was rather slow. So I'm going to get into the trades right now. I took one trade and was profitable. But other than that, I didn't see too many trades that I liked. And there was a few almost trades and things that I noticed. So, didn't mean to do that. Let's go ahead and fix that. Oh, didn't mean to do that either. Okay. On the pre-market, picking up from yesterday's close, there's a sell-off, one leg down, break, test the low, push up, kind of chop sideways. It looked like it was a spike of this orange up channel sideways, and then another gradual green channel. It also looked like it could fit inside this larger yellow channel, which I kind of drew. Then right before the open, it made two legs down. Then this green leg push up, break, test the high, and it also started to move sideways. No clean setups. You could argue there's a low here, a first entry short, pullback second entry short, but this is a really good signal bar. It's not really any clean setup that I particularly like. You could also say there's a new high, first entry long, pullback second entry long. Yes, but at this point, I thought we might be in a range, and I was concerned about running into the highs of this potential range. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So it moves sideways. It looks like it breaks and starts moving down this red down channel. There's a new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long. These aren't very good signal bars. Plus, you'd be buying into this potential red down channel resistance and the EMA. Hits a low, breaks, tests the high, and then comes back down again. Creates looks like it's two legs, although by the technical count, it's like a first entry long way down here, second entry long, and I thought there might have been a higher low right here. But it also looks like it's two legs, one leg here, break, second leg, and then a higher low. Higher low, I called it an almost trade because it's a good signal bar. There's enough room to the highs, but I just really wasn't too sure about it. I think a more aggressive person might have potentially taken this higher low as a trade. It is counter trend to what you see that's going on, but you can make an argument there's two legs down. It could be two legs up, but I left it alone. Prices move up. It's a new low. First entry short, second entry short, second entry short, potential second entry short failure, but it's right at the EMA. So I wasn't too keen on that. It could be a break above and an immediate flush down. Pushes up, hits the high side, starts drifting back down. That's where I turned it into this bigger yellow down channel. New high, first entry long, pull back. Technically, you have a second entry long here, but it's so far from the setup. Not a good signal bar. Follow through trigger bar is pretty good, but I need a higher low at this point. You don't get a higher low. Price continued breaking down lower, pushes up. First entry short, and that's all you get. It touches and makes second touch contact. You can argue for a third. 1, 2, 3. So it looks like it's fitting inside this yellow down channel pretty well. Starts looking like it's moving sideways. You have a new low. First entry short, pull back. Potential second entry short. Now, in real time, I saw this. I didn't like the way this signal bar ended. It kind of ended more neutral. If it had closed the low, then I think there might have been a trade there, and I may have tried to take it. But you don't know that. And then when it confirms second entry short, now it's too late to try to jump in on this trade because I'm concerned there might be a bounce off of here. Even though you're going with trend, you could hit a potential support line here. Continues chopping sideways. You have a new high, localized new high. First entry short, first entry long, second entry long failure, but this never broke above the EMA. EMA is starting to act as a pretty reliable resistance right now, but it pushes through potential fail breakout. So I'm just watching and waiting. So I think there could be a new low, first entry short, second entry short. I'm looking for a lower high, ideally a press above this guy and then a good solid bar close. Now it's a little too far and a little bit too many candles to consider a lower high. This isn't a good lower high because I saw this in real time. I thought maybe there's a trade, but it didn't. It closed too far from the lows. Presses, pushes back down. So now this yellow down channel is looking pretty good. Presses and breaks through the low side. Let's normalize this chart. Break of the green down channel, test the low. I'm thinking this may have played out. It might reverse and try to go back into this yellow down channel. So starting to reverse, technically you have a localized high. First entry long, pullback, second entry long. But I need a higher low. But even if a higher low shows up, it feels a little risky because I might be running into this support, which may now act as resistance, because this breakout could continue downwards and create a second leg here. So I'm not too sure it's going to pull back into this yellow down channel. And if it does, overall bias is still to go short and not to go long. So if a higher low shows up, it doesn't feel safe. Gets a little bit choppy. Get this doji. Not a big fan of that. Presses down. So it is a break of this green. Tested low, made a second attempt down. Pushes up on this red up channel, break. I think it might test the highs because I also think there might be a trading range here. This could be a failed breakout. This could be one attempt, pull back, and make a second attempt. The problem is it already had one touch, two touch, a triple test. And unfortunately, this wasn't a good signal bar. Looks like it's bouncing back up. Now it creates a second entry short multiple test. So it's new low. Get your first break, first entry short, pull back. Potential second entry short with a multiple test off this pretty established resistance. So I thought there might have actually been a trade right here. So if you did enter, you'd be in probably on this candle. And then this candle probably would have given you your scalp. I saw this as a failed second entry short because you have a visual first entry short pullback. Second entry short. Second entry short technically has failed on this candle. It is pretty bullish, but it's a red candle, so it left me a little cautious. So if you did enter, you would have been in on this trade, and then this trade would have given you your quick scalp. The thing that stopped me is, as I said, I didn't really trust. This is a good signal bar for the failed second entry short, and it confirms here. If this had just been green or closed at the high without this little small pullback, I think I'd be more inclined to try to take this trade. Pushes out, potential fail breakout here. Looks like we're ranging. First entry long. Technically a second entry long, but when you see this candle in real time, it's hard to trust to go long yet because you think it might push back to the low side. And this candle never breaks below this one. It just opens and flushes up. Starts moving up what I think is another developing channel. So it looks like a spike and in a shallow channel. You technically have a first entry long. You have a second entry long here, but as a fail breakout here, which could correspond to a fail breakout here. So whether it's going to push back into this range, I'm not sure, but I did notice it's a pretty decent signal bar for second entry long. But if it does confirm a second entry long, I want a higher low confirmation. You might have a higher low here, and it confirms a higher low because it is this low is higher than this one, but these candles don't give me much confidence. Presses down, drops around, and starts moving what I think is this blue down channel. A break on this side, it's a first entry short, pull back, creates a second entry short. Second entry short break of this blue down channel has occurred now. So it's a first entry, second entry. So this is a second entry short potential resumption of this blue down channel, but I'm a little cautious on the first, second entry short after a break because it broke on the low side. It could continue down to test the low here, but technically already has tested the low. So I'm a little cautious thinking there might be a reversal here, but it did make two clean legs up. So there's some competing biases and competing information that left me a little confused. I'm thinking prices are still going to come down. If only this had been a better signal bar, like if it was red, and then they created this one, then I'd be a little more inclined to go short. But now I'm looking for a lower high confirmation to trust the bias is still coming down because it looks like it's two legs up. It needs to test the low of this blue one. Then seeing this print kind of resolved that question completely. Like there was no trade. Good thing I didn't try to go short. pushes down. So now this push has tested the low of this blue guy, but is still going strong. Bounces, so it's like a first entry long. Technically, you have a second entry long here because it broke the low, reversed and closed up. Creates a second entry short. I thought this was a possible trade. It's a new low. First entry short, pullback, second entry short. Second entry short, when I saw this in real time, I kind of was surprised it closed so nicely, but I didn't take the trade in time. It opens and then flushes down, and by the time it closes, it's too late to try to enter this trade because it's already pressing to the low of day. So the scalp may have already been made. So this is definitely, I think, a decent trade. Looks like it was also 2 legs up. Prices then continue chopping, pushes up. Looks like we're ranging at this moment. Definitely in a range now. So I'm looking for, it says triple test, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. This isn't closed that nicely. So it's also a break of this orange up channel. I'm thinking it could be a test of the high. So since it's not a good signal bars, plus it's inside, I had to sit on my hands. But going short definitely would have been a loss. Prices move up. Potential fail breakout. Like a first entry long. You might have a second entry long here. It looks like it's 2 legs down. But I'm wondering if it's going to push back down and test the low. So I'm a little reluctant to go long. This probably would have been a trade that would have been a profitable trade, but in real time, I didn't quite trust this setup. This could be a higher low. Higher low, unfortunately, is running right into the highs of what I think is what prices are moving in this trading range at the moment. Now, there is a possibility it could actually be all the way up here. And the reason I didn't like it all the way up here is it discounts the fact that there was some kind of resistance here. Now, if you notice, if you do drag it all the way up to here, you're kind of right at the midline. So this midline could be acting as some kind of resistance or support area. And I was thinking, well, the midline certainly isn't as definitive and strong as the actual highs and lows of the trading range. So I kind of kept it down here, treated this as a fail breakout. So that's how come I didn't really trust a potential higher low trade here. And then this one, when it forms, so it is a higher low, but it never triggers above this. It made me kind of cautious and not try to take any kind of long at this point. But then this shows up as a new low, first entry short pullback, second entry short, also a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long, hasn't failed on this candle, but it hasn't failed here. It looks like it's about to fail here. So I got an order ready. I actually like this trade because I'm thinking, as I said, I'm thinking prices are going to move all the way down to this low side. I enter 1 tick below. You can see the little pink triangle entered right here. Got the scalp, and I was just pretty happy with that. No runners, just kind of because for a runner, I don't know if there's much runway before it runs into this because I think there's going to be a bounce point here. So instead of risking just providing additional risk, I just took the whole position off. Now there's also a 2-point trade possible, but I only went for 1, just a little more conservative. Prices move down. EMA starting to act resistance. It does hit the low side now. So I'm wondering if it's going to create a failed breakout here or a failed breakout on this side to correspond to this, but it does hit the low side of this range and is starting to reverse. It's these big, big candles, which are a little bit hard to trust and hard to jump in on. Presses all the way through. So it looked like a bottom may have been made because up until now, everything to the left has been selling off. Had a sideways consolidation, 2 legs down, consolidation again. This consolidation, unlike this one, has no major break on the low side. So this low could be the low of day, whereas this one, it already had a break here and then it finally broke even lower. So I'm just curious, plus I had now drawn this red down channel. It's not really confirmed, so I don't trust it too much. So I don't really think it's going to act as a resistance just yet. But I'm wondering if there's going to be a reversal and push up. I was watching a potential resistance area here because it had some kind of reaction here, previous reaction here. So I was watching this carefully, but not really trusting as a key entry point to take any trades yet. Pushes up in this orange up channel, hits the high side, struggles, comes back down. So then I drew this resistance and turned it into a range because clearly there's some kind of support here. And I thought this could be the top of the range because initially I thought this might have been the top of the range, but it doesn't fit as nicely because you had a break here and a break here. Well, this one could develop into a potential range. Presses down, moves down on this green down channel. It's a first entry long, potential second entry long, but it's not a good signal bar. Was looking for a higher low and a push to the EMA, but it never shows up. But now it's starting to reverse. You have a new low, first entry short. You have a second entry short here, but all the way up here, didn't quite test this for a triple test. Decent signal bar, but it is green, so I was cautious. Again, for this first entry short, second entry short, in order for me to feel safe taking a short, since it fell short of touching the high side, I needed lower high. It doesn't happen, and then it creates these relatively large candles, relative to the day, that it made me a little cautious. It creates this lower high here. Unfortunately, this lower high, there's too much stem on the low side, so it's more neutral. Drops around, moves down. At this point, price action does slow down. It takes a little bit longer now for the candles to open and close. Well, open and then finally close. Pushes up and moves back down. Pushes down this red down channel, breaks, tests the low. I'm expecting a move all the way down to this. And if it does, and it sets up a trade, like a second entry somehow, then I would probably try to take it to ride it back up the high side. So that's my expectation. I'm expecting prices to move down to test the low side. Almost there. Okay, almost touches. It falls short and it starts reversing. So it fell short. Looks like a visual first entry short, second entry short, below the EMA. Decent signal bar, but it is inside. So I was looking for a lower high when I saw this. But it doesn't. It creates a new high, pushes up. So I'm not thinking of going short now. Creates a first entry long. Technically, you have a hidden second entry long here. So it's a visual first entry long, pullback, second entry long because it broke below, came back up and closed the high. The thing that I don't like about this is it's pushing into a potential resistance right here because there was a high, localized high right here. Presses back down. Looks like a visual first entry long, pullback, second entry long, which is a bad signal bar. You might have a higher low right here. This higher low, unfortunately, doesn't get triggered by this candle, so there would be no trade. Bounces. Looks like the EMA might be holding now. At this point, I drew this orange up channel because it fits nicely as a trend channel. No clean second entries. You have first entry long. Gets congested just side by side. So then I'm not thinking of taking any trades right here because this range is also pretty tiny. It's only about 2.25 to 2.5 points for a 1 point scalp where the candles are already spanning the entire length. This is just creating piano keys that I don't trust to take as long or short right now. And it's hard to play range rules. So it's just an area of congestion right here. I mean, just more congestion. Finally starts breaking out. You have a new low. Well, localized low area, because you could technically say this is a low, first entry short, second entry short right here. But I call it localized low, first entry short. You never get a triggered second entry short. Pops, then it starts moving sideways again. And if you look at the timestamp, it's getting too late in the day to try to take any trades. Kind of moves into the close. So kind of what's been going on lately is their price action has been slow, especially the latter half. Most of the setups, I think, have been showing up more consistently better setups toward the beginning of the day. And as you can tell, the half a day is already pretty much done right about here. Then from here all the way 9 o'clock Pacific Standard to 1 o'clock Pacific Standard is 4 hours of trading. And you can tell how much price action from where my cursor is to here is 4 hours as opposed to here back where there's more things going on. So not really surprising there wasn't much happening toward the latter half, especially as the day unfolded with the candles taking longer to print and close out. That was just pretty happy that I got that one trade, which was profitable, and everything else. I mean, there wasn't any spectacular setup that I really noticed that jumped out that I wish I had taken. So hopefully that was helpful.